Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to Debate Crypto in a world where hopium collides with common sense. Starring, you know it, your hosts, myself, the Crypto Keeper, and the one and only blockchain crusader. How you doing, Miguel?
Good, and you? Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I don't like to say I'm doing good. I feel like that just sounds a little, So I'm doing well, Miguel. I'm a little more learned in that area. So I am doing well. I am fantastic. So what, my friend, do we have scheduled for the podium this evening?
What if we actually took back control of our finances from our tyrannical government?
Woo! Did you just say tyrannical government?
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy. Guys, listen, you better grab a Band-Aid because this one might cut a little deep. So Miguel, why don't you kick us off and let's talk about, so when we say what, so it's What If Wednesday, guys. You know the deal. We get together on Wednesday and we talk about polarizing topics that relate to the crypto space. So welcome. If this is your first time here, we hope to have you back. We hope that you'll stick around tonight. Smash up the likes. If you do have questions, comments, concerns, anything, drop it in the chat. We will get to the chat at some point. So guys, again, smash up the likes. If you got X out of the live chat, smash up the likes, but we appreciate you being here. So let's get into it. Miguel, what does it mean to take back my finances? We don't even need to get into the government part yet.
Yeah.
What does it mean to take back my finances?
To regain financial freedom, right? Because we live in a world right now where we are debt slaves in this country, and not just this country alone, but worldwide, right? If you just look back 50 years, people were able to afford to have a house, a car under one income, and have a family and support everything under one income. But now that is no longer the issue. People don't have one car. People have multiple cars. People have multiple subscriptions. People are consuming. Are you there?
I'm not sure what just happened. We had a little technical difficulty there.
Yeah. Well, you're back. So we're good. We're good, right?
I'm not sure what's going on.
I see you. I see you. Can you see
Okay.
me?
Okay. Well, I see you, but you're like jumping like all over the place. Like
That's weird. It's perfectly fine on my end.
ay, güey. ¿Cuál es la problema? Tenemos problemas ahorita.
All right. The chat. Anybody in the chat, drop if everything is good.
Everything's
drop
good. All right. Looks like we're good. I see you fine now, so I apologize. So continue. I missed the very end of what you were saying because it just kind of.
So what I was saying was that we are becoming financial debt slaves in this country and around the world because we are being programmed to consume more and more and more, right? We don't have just one car anymore. Now we have multiple cars. We have multiple expenses when it comes to having different things to spend money on, from smart refrigerators to smart TVs. Before, you would have one TV. That TV lasted you a good 20 years. Now you're buying a TV every other year, right? Because a greater 4K, 8K, 10K, 20K is coming out, right? You're getting a new smartphone every year that costs you at least $1,000. You haven't even finished paying it off yet. You get hit with a penalty, and then you're still paying for that new phone because you want the latest and greatest features. So we've been programmed now to always be consuming more and more, and this is why credit cards have blown off the skyrocket, right? And become such a big thing, and it's allowing us to lose power from our financial freedom and become debt slaves.
I couldn't agree with you more, Miguel. So I don't know why it still had you frozen up there for a second. So hopefully that fixes itself here in a minute. But that being said, so here's the thing: we are programmed from an early age to jump on board with this, right? When we go through school, right? What do they really teach you in school? Or at least now, mind you, I was in high school like 20 years ago. Yes, guys, I'm a boomer. Well, Not probably technically a boomer, but you guys go ahead, make your jokes. Ha 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 ha. Gray in his beard, yada yada. Okay. Thanks, thanks, thanks. But no, so I was taught in school that you were to, first of all, let's talk about it in little sections here. The first thing is you were taught that if you, and I'm this is just how I was taught. If you don't go to college, you are less than. Okay. So let's talk about that real quick. If you don't go to college, you basically don't have your stuff together. You are less than. How is that a thing? Okay. And here's like, I went to college, but just for a short time, right? Are you there, Miguel, still? Gosh, guys, we are having super technical
Oh,
difficulties
I'm here.
tonight.
I'm here. I was on mute. Sorry, but I'm here.
I know. It's just so weird. You are so frozen.
I'm
I
just not
don't
moving.
know. I
I'm
don't
like
know what
Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm so
Yeah,
still.
but
Not moving.
it'd be nice to be able to interact with you and see you because literally you are dead frozen. I want to pull. Never mind. I'm not going to finish what I was about to say. I'll just keep going. I can hear you just fine. Let's keep going. Okay, so we were taught that going to school was the answer. Okay, and who does that college? And I'll ask you, Miguel, where does that debt that we put ourselves into, like, who is that getting paid to?
Well, that debt is getting paid. You hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. I
Okay.
just can't see you moving at all. So
You
it
can't
is
see
what
me
it
at
is.
all? Well,
No.
somebody drop it in the comments if they can't see me moving, because on my end, everything looks
Yeah.
flawless right now.
I
We're not
know.
having
And
any
mine looks
issues.
too. You're just totally.
So yeah, I think the question was, where does this debt get paid to? This debt gets paid to the government, right? To the banks, right? They're the ones making this money off these loans, right? They're just forever keeping you in debt, right? Like student loans is one of the only things you can not get rid of in a bankruptcy. So no matter how broke you are, you're paying it back, right?
Yep.
Even if it takes you your entire lifespan, you're paying that baby back. And if you die before you pay it back, your kids are going to pay for it. They're gonna inherit that debt, and somebody's going to pay it.
And
Uh,
that's exactly what I'm getting at, right? So so let's look at the programming. The programming on the front end, they say that it's about, hey, you're going to get the best job, you're going to get paid exponentially more. They're going to give you all of these different things that actually happen. But what is it really if we step back and look at it? What if What if the whole idea behind pressing people into colleges was to create that debt? And ultimately, when we look at it on a macro scale, I don't even know what the number is, but I do know that that federal debt that is owed, that, like you said, even in a bankruptcy will not disappear, is massive, right? It is
yes.
absolutely massive. And what does it have tacked onto it? Oh, that's right, folks. Interest. Let's look at this. So now you owe interest on this debt of, let's just even say you're blessed and you only owe 4%, right? You owe 4% interest on this debt. Now I say, you know what? I really need to save money so I can pay off some of that debt. So I put money into a bank account. My bank account pays me 4%, right? Oh,
Yep.
oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, it doesn't. It pays me like 0.01%. Guys, we are not even in the same hemisphere as it
Yeah.
relates to the amount of, and listen, where did that money come from? Right? It came from us in the first place. It came from someone else. It came from someone else's bank account that ultimately they are loaning that money out to you, charging 4%. You're paying back at a 4% rate, but taking in 0.01% when you save. Does anyone see a problem with the metrics? Right?
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is, do you even know how this whole college debt situation started?
No, tell me.
So it started with back in the day, college was like I think between 2,000 to 5,000 bucks. That was it. That's all you
Mm-hmm.
paid, right? But
Okay.
obviously, college was not pushed for everyone. So only the people that really wanted to go and could, pretty much really afford to pay, because you had to pay, up front kind of thing. It wasn't like now you take out loans for it. But they started to push this narrative of, we want more people going to college. We want more people going to college. And people were like, well, if you want more people to go to college, what are you going to incentivize us to go for, right? I don't want to pay that money. Or a lot of people are just like, I don't have that money, right? I
Right.
don't have the money to pay to go to college, but I do have the money to go to a trade school, and that's what I'm going to go do. They're like, wait a minute, we don't want you going there. We want you to go to college. So they created a government program that literally created this whole bubble of debt where they basically told the colleges, hey, no matter what you charge, we're going to pay you. We're going to give you the money. It's going to be loaned out to the students, and then the students will eventually pay us back. Don't worry about it. We got you. And what did the colleges say? Wait, what? We can charge you whatever we want, and you're gonna pay it? Bring it on. And that's why the skyrocketing college prices have been going up and up every single year, not
These are
just because of inflation.
Yeah, these are for-profit businesses, guys,
Mhm.
okay? They absolutely for profit. Now, let me say this. If you my wife, right, is a nurse. She needed to go to school to become a nurse and have a degree and get her degree, right? Fantastic. It takes a lot of freaking hard work. I'm proud of her and I'm proud of many others like her that do that. If you need a degree, I applaud you. Do your thing. It's hard. You can't, a lot of people can't do, the whole party thing and go to school and get good grades and all of the things that I was trying to do, right? The partying kind of took over, right? That's for another day, another story. But I applaud you if you were able to do that. Okay. But let's look at it this way too now. The reality is right now, okay, we need what more than ever. And I know this because I own a construction company. We need tradespeople. Why do you think we need tradespeople? Because we set up this game plan, this wild game plan to put all of these college kids into debt, right? To then get into the workforce in jobs that most of the time have nothing to do with their degree, and if it does,
Art
for them,
appreciation.
the vast majority of these people that have degrees are not actually making more money. And I'll actually even challenge it. I will tell you that if you were a skilled tradesperson and you came to work for my business right now, today, without even looking, I can all but guarantee, with the exception of a few of you in the chat, that I will be paying you more than you will make off of coming out of college for just about freaking anything right now. But we set up this debt cycle, this endless debt cycle that people can't get out of, and then they're expected to get out of it by doing what? By trying to pay monthly, pay more interest than they're actually receiving, and then they got to save money with, oh yeah, by the way, we're not actually giving you interest to save money. It is a cycle of chaos that ultimately, from what I hear from people, for the most part, does not end, and it's freaking
Yeah.
sad. So how do we get ourselves into a position to say, okay, enough's enough? What does that look like, Miguel? What do we have to do to put ourselves in a position to say, okay, we see what's going on in front of us, right? We've
Mhm.
now put our country into a position where we need tradespeople more than ever, but because we push so many people into college and into debt, and then they need to keep working in this job because they have to pay off this debt and pay off this interest. How do we break the cycle? Do you have like a good thought on how do we
Yes,
break the cycle?
yes. So before I answer that question, the last thing I want to say about college is the fact that you go to college, graduate with a degree. Back in the day, you would graduate with a degree, instant high paying job, right? There
Yeah,
was literally no requirement. You walked into a company and said, "Hey, I got a bachelor's degree." You're like, "You got a what?" You're hired,
yep,
right? There was scarcity to those things, right? There was true value to those pieces of paper. Now everyone and their mom has a bachelor's degree. You walk anywhere to a job, even entry level positions, and they're like, well, like as myself or as a programmer, well, what kind of experience do you have? What do you mean? I just graduated. Well, have you worked on any type of website or applications or anything for the past 2 or 3 years? Have you built any app that's on the market? Have
bingo,
you published any website? Like, wait, I just graduated. I
right,
haven't done any of this thing.
yep.
Oh, you don't got enough experience. Next. It's like, wait, I was supposed to go to college and at the same time be running an entire website app business on my own to build experience so that I can
Yep.
have 4 years of experience by the time I graduate.
It feels to me like a freaking crime
Yes.
I looked at the amount of, and listen, we can't all be blessed enough to have parents that are just, hey, let me just pay for you to go to school. We can't all be blessed enough to just have, like, my wife had massive amounts of scholarships because she was just absolutely just fantastic when it came to school. That is not the norm, right? And they know that's not the norm. So let's push people into a position where they are in an everlasting cycle of debt. Let's tell them they need to go to college. They then need to get married, right? When they get married, they need to do what? What's the next step, Miguel? After we
Go
get
buy a
married, what are
house.
we going to do?
Go
We're going
buy
to
a house.
buy a house, right? Which is the next step in the process towards not being able to take back our financial freedom. What's it
Yes.
look like?
So exactly right. I think I forgot who it said. I think it was it Jay-Z maybe? Was it Jay-Z or maybe
Ooh, we're
Kanye
going to
said it?
lock in a Jay-Z comment tonight. Let's hear
Yeah.
it. What you got?
Jay-Z or Kanye. He said if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. Um,
Oh, I like
so
it.
and I used to think about that and I was like, man, at that point I would never be able to buy a car. I would never be able to buy that. And I was like,
Right.
and then I bought a car. I bought that and I was like, damn, I shouldn't have bought it. I shouldn't have bought it. It's true what they say. If you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. But we are being programmed to consume, 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 and compete with our friends, compete with our neighbors, right? About who's got the nicer car, who's got the bigger house, who's got the
Mhm.
nicer TV. Post it on Instagram, post it on TikTok, and show to the world how great your life is.
Dude,
So,
we are currently, I didn't mean to cut you off just real quick and you can keep
yeah,
going. We are
go ahead.
currently in the middle of the hub for this craziness. We are on YouTube right now. What do you see all over YouTube and all over social media? Yo, bro, I got the Lambo, son. Check it out.
Exactly right. And even people in crypto, right? When are we gonna go get those Lambos, right? When are we gonna go to the moon and buy those Lambos? Like, dude, why would you be investing in the world's best assets and then spend it on a Lambo, which has no significance anymore? So many Lambos are out there. They're no longer scarce. They're no longer a thing of pride or of like status. Anyone can go rent a Lambo. I can go rent a Lambo right now, spend the next 2 days driving around Miami, taking pictures, and say, look at all the money I made with crypto. I got myself a Lambo. Dude, I rented that thing.
Right.
Like it's not mine.
Yeah,
Um,
there's so much there's so much that has been indoctrinated into us that
yes.
pushes this narrative that says, "Hey, look, let me show you my." And this is one of the things, Miguel, that I loved about you when I first met you. I was like, "This dude's real." And when people talk to me outside of here, like one on one, they're like, "Man, you know what? I appreciate the fact that I really feel like I can get to know you. I feel like you're being real, right?"
Yeah.
And so we are pushed and indoctrinated for so long to have the biggest house, the best car, the most money in your bank account. Which, side note, the most money in your bank account, which is doing what? Supporting
Exactly.
the bank to be able
Yes.
to loan it out, to be able to take that interest that they're not giving you when you put that money in your bank account. Guys, it's a freaking scam. It is absolutely a scam. Saving money in your bank account does one thing, and I will tell you it does do this thing because I live it, right?
Mhm.
It gives me a sense of comfort that I can look at a number in an account and say, if all hell breaks, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just saying, as a rule, this is the only thing that I feel like that our banking system today can do for us. Our archaic banking system that we're in today, it can give me the financial freedom, if you will, to say, okay, I'm not stressed about where my mortgage is coming from next month. Oh yeah, the mortgage that, by the way, was federally, funded or what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they have some these Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loans that are literally federally funded programs, right? Why do you think all of this stuff is pushed by our lovely government? Who was it that said, what's the 8 most scary words you'll ever hear? Hi,
Reagan.
I'm from the
Reagan.
government and I'm here to help you, or something like that.
Yes. Reagan
We're
said,
from the government, we're here to help you.
I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
And I'm here to help. Listen, guys, we're not sitting here on this YouTube page just trying to talk anti-disestablishment, right? No, we're not at all, because I will tell you, United States Marine here, right? I stand proud on that, right? I literally fought for this country so that we can have some of these freedoms, right? But when we dig down into it, the pain point, the point at which this country will collapse, surrounds and builds on one thing and one thing only. It is money, right?
Yes.
Money, money, money. I'll give you one more quote, and I forget who this was. We're doing really bad with quoting who this is, but there's someone that said, "Give me control of the money, and I could care less who is in office." And maybe somebody can say that, say in the chat who that was. But the facts are, if you control the money, it's like Scarface. He controls the money, got the power. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yes,
Hey, let me tell
exactly.
you something, okay? You give me the money, I get the power. I get the power, I get the, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's so
Yes,
true,
it's an
right?
endless cycle. And I think
So,
I think
so, 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 how do we
yes.
start to shift the narrative?
Let's get into it, right? We've been in here for 20 minutes giving them the good stuff. Now let's get into the meat, right? Let's get into the meat. So I think the best way is, besides crypto, DeFi, right? Crypto is the best performing assets that you can be investing in long term that makes life changing money, right? DeFi takes you to be able to regain that control that the banks have of being able to put your money into to liquidity, to a lending platform, and then be able to earn interest and earn back money on your own money instead of having it sitting in a bank account earning you nothing. Rather, banks are making money off your money. You can make your own money go to work for you, right? Even using a stable coin. You don't even need to use a high volatile asset like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on.
Let's
So
explain.
that,
Let's explain that a little bit better, Miguel. Explain that to the new person that's in here that's saying, "Hey, you know what? I just found debate crypto. I'm just learning about crypto." Explain a little bit further what you just said.
yeah. So simple example is BlockFi, right? BlockFi is a lending platform that you can go make an account in. They have KYC, right? Everything's legit. They're regulated. And you go on there, you make an account, you transfer your assets, whether it's a stable coin, right? A stable coin is the crypto version of the US dollar. It's
Mm-hmm.
always $1. It has no volatility. And they will let you, because you put that money, that stable coin in their lending platform, they will pay you between, I think on BlockFi it's closer to 8 to 9%, and then on Coinbase I think it's 4%, and then Celsius is also somewhere around 8 or 9%. They will pay you that percent yearly for having liquidity provided for them. So you're literally loaning out your money with guaranteed being paid back, because everything's controlled by smart contracts, right? There's guarantees in that. So it's not like you're lending your money to your neighbor and then you're like, oh, I tend to pay back up, and they're like, oh, I don't got it, right? It doesn't work that way. The people have to put up collateral, which gets liquidated, and you get paid in that, if that were to be the case. And you don't have to worry about any of that. All of that is taken care of through the magic of the internet, of the
Right.
blockchain technology.
Side
So
note on that, one of the things I just want to throw out there that Miguel and I have started debatecrypto.academy, and guys, don't go there right now because it's under construction, but you're not going to be too impressed. But as we push this out, as we roll this out with all the other features that are on there, one of the things that we're going to be offering is, and it's going to be a huge part of it, is how to actually participate in what Miguel was just talking about. There's a lot of you out there that don't know what a smart contract is. They just heard Miguel say KYC, and people are saying, what in the heck have I just stumbled upon? Now, I know a lot of you know, and you're like hearing me say it multiple times, but listen, guys, education, 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 right? We do the research so you don't have to. We do the hard stuff so that you don't have to, right? We want to build a community around making passive income in a bear market, which creates life-changing, lifelong wealth. And so we explain things like, what is a smart contract, right? It's basically computer code that just says, hey, between this point and this point, between this person and this person, between this computer and this computer, whatever, this is what happens. And it's literally a contract written in computer code. Like we can simplify the heck out of these. What's KYC? It's know your customer. So what Miguel was saying was, they're legit. They have KYC. Well, what's KYC? It's know your customer. They literally want to say, hey, prove who you are, right? Now,
yeah,
while we don't love that all the time, because ultimately it is just the government trying to snoop in and basically just make
Tax
sure
you.
that all their taxes are in line. The reality is that it is also to make sure that things are on the up and up, and they will put some guys on it, like anti money laundering and all of these other lovely things. But at the end of the day, these are all going to be things that we're going to be offering you that I think is super important, because this all starts with education. And so when it comes to DeFi, right? And I don't want to be too long breathed here, right? But when it comes to DeFi, DeFi is decentralized finance. DeFi takes the bank, which is the middleman between you and your money, right? And it says, see ya, right? And it takes the bank out of there, right? Why? Somebody please feel free, drop it in the chat. Why should I not be able to loan out my own money and get a yield, get a return like the bank does? Guys, listen, we are when you put your money in a bank account, and I've talked about this 100,000 times, I just want to stress it again. When you put your money into a bank account, you are literally saying, here you go, Mr. Bank. I'd like to loan you my money so that you can loan it out to other people for multiple percent interest. And oh, by the way, I'll leave it in there for you and you can give me 0.01%. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Bank. No, screw that. Why are we not? This is where crypto comes in. This is where DeFi comes in, and where we say, you know what? We can make this money for ourselves, right? And so we need to start taking that control back. And that therein lies the reason why crypto regulators, why regulations want to come in so hard on crypto. And I really think it's that simple. They are seeing, oh my gosh, the people are figuring it out. They are starting to wake up. They are starting to understand that this is all a big freaking scam, right?
Exactly.
And I just think that if we continue to educate ourselves, which is what we're here to do for you guys, we love you guys to death, and we want to bring that education to the forefront. If you guys will allow us to be able to help you, and then we can work back and forth and create this community, guys, this is what it's about, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah, 100% right. We've been fed the lie that if you work hard and save money, you will be well off and you'll have enough money for retirement, and you will be able to afford all these things, afford a big house, afford 2 cars, afford a nice 2-week vacation every week, every
You've been
year.
paying into Social Security for a long time. For what? If you're young, you ain't getting it. Just letting you know.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And at the end of the day, I am a believer of living like you're broke, right? Even though you're not. Like a lot of my friends tell me, like, dude, like, why do you invest so much into crypto? Like you don't do this, you don't do that, right? You're not out vacationing every other day. You're not paying these expensive trips, right? You don't have the nicest car. By the way, I have like a 2015 Mercedes, but that's obviously not nice enough anymore. So, and it's like right. And then I fell into the trap. I bought the Mercedes because of thinking that way. Like I should buy myself something real nice, right? To make myself feel good that I'm being successful. And it was one of the biggest financial mistakes I've done. And I'm actually going to be selling that car in the next couple of weeks. So I really have, over the years, especially as I've been getting more into crypto since 2018, have realized that I need to live like I'm broke, yet even though I have low amount in my bank account, I have a ton in my portfolio that is growing for me exponentially and doing stuff. Meanwhile, my friends are living large, and yet their bank account is 0 and there's nothing making that grow. And they're not going to have anything later down the line.
Yeah, no doubt. The one thing I will say is this is all about what works for you, the person, right?
Yes.
One of the reasons that we do consulting and coaching is because the game plan needs to be for you, right? I have a meeting tomorrow. I have a consulting coaching with tomorrow with a with somebody that ultimately is all about really wants their security, right? And I'm all about it, right? But that's what that person, what they want to work on, that's what they want to do. And again, guys, I would never share anything personally about any of this. I'm just throwing out there the fact that this is about what you want. Okay. So here's what I'll say. If you want to go out and buy a nice car, go for it. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I don't have a nice vehicle, right? I do, right? Do I need what I have? No, I don't, right? But I'm also not flossing a freaking Bentley either, right? Like could I do it? Sure. Would it
Yeah.
be totally stupid? Yes, right? And so I'm not saying don't take care of yourself because we only live once. So that I will say for sure. But we need to look at this a little longer term, guys. There is a reason that it is called the curse of the lottery. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this or not, but there is a large percentage of people that win the lottery that go bankrupt within like a couple years. Like it's fast. The
Yes.
reason is because we've been indoctrinated by music videos, by TV, by Instagram, by all the social media to buy, spend, nicest pictures, nicest cars, nicest house, excuse me, all of these things. And then what do you have to show for it? You have stress, gray hair, right? And oh, I got a bunch of that. No. But the reality is, guys, it does nothing but create turmoil in your life. You can be, I've heard people say, like, I'd rather be smiling in a Porsche than crying in a Pinto or whatever. Or I'd rather be crying in a Porsche than smiling in a Pinto. I said it backwards. I'd rather be
Yeah.
crying in a Porsche than smiling in a Pinto. Oh, would you really? Because I gotta
It's
tell
not worth
you,
it.
that I have been on both sides of the playing field. I've been on the side of the playing field where like I looked like I had everything all together, and yet I definitely didn't, and I was absolutely broken inside. And then I've got the side of the playing field right now where I'm at, where I genuinely am hands down in the best position I have ever been in, times 1,000, right? And I want to share that with people. I want people to feel that. I want people to say, you know what? I can have that too. This is coming from someone who's in recovery from freaking a heroin addiction, right? Like I share that openly because I want to give you guys encouragement that each and every one of you has the ability to turn things around. I don't care if you have a bankruptcy. I don't care if you got involved in drugs. I don't care if you had a nasty divorce. Listen, I care, but I only care to the extent that you're willing to do something to change it and to turn it around. And part of guys, you don't have to drive the nicest car. You don't have to have the nicest house. You don't have to have these things right now. And if we're able to look at a little bit longer term, like put the blinders on and say, okay, let's look at, okay, I was going day by day. Now I want to go to next week. Now I want to go to next month. Now I want to go to next year. Now I want to go to 5 years from now. Now I want to go to 10 years from now. And as we can change those blinders, that view that you're looking at, guys, it does one thing and one thing only for you. It takes you to a point where you can be smiling in whatever the heck you want to be smiling in. And you can be sitting on your front porch and saying, wow, like I love my life. And that's what this is about. This is about loving life and taking control back of what you otherwise have not had control of, which, let's be real, has been our finances.
Yeah, 100% right. It's about not having that. We've been programmed to have instant gratification, right? We need that new car now. We need that whatever good feeling right now, right? I'm going to spend my money on whatever so I can make me feel good, right? Going on Amazon and shopping is like, oh, I deserve this. I need this. Buy to make myself feel good. But when you buy it, you finally get it. That good feeling instantly evaporates. It's gone. It's not real. It's synthetic. And then you go for the next thing, right? And it's an addiction. It is an addiction. Being this mentality that we've been programmed into of just endless consuming is an addiction of trying to get those 2 minutes of dopamine of like, yeah, I bought it. And then I got it. And I'm like, I shouldn't have gotten that, but the money's gone. And that keeps us a financial slave forever. So yes, delay that instant gratification. You might be living like you're broke right now, right? But in the long term, you're going to be living very well off, right? And if you think about it, wealthy people, the wealthiest people are not driving Lambos. They're not driving any of that stuff, right? If they were, all that stuff is rented or leased. They don't actually own anything. They actually just make their money. All their money goes back into investments. They don't have a huge bank account sitting there just so they can look at it. They have all that money invested. They're literally broke. They have no money, and they take out loans on their assets to be able to pay for things because they actually don't have any money in the bank account. Right? It's an exaggeration. They don't technically have zero,
Right.
but compared to what they're worth, they don't have that money sitting in a bank account.
Wealthy people think different. Wealthy people
Yes.
operate their lives different, right? If you, and I will throw this out there, if you see, for the most part, if you see somebody doing what I called flexing, right? Whether they're capping or not, right? Whether they're actually really, got it all together and their finances are in control, whatever. But if they are literally on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, on whatever, and they are flexing, right? They're flexing to do two things. One is to pump up their pride and ego, and two, it could be setting themselves up to take advantage of someone else by selling them the lie, right? Well, here's how I want to finish things off tonight, guys. We have been sold the lie for way too long that we have control of our money by saving it and putting it in a bank. If you talk to your grandparents right now, if you're lucky enough and blessed enough, I still have two of my grandparents around. I'm so super blessed from that. But if you're lucky enough to have your parents or grandparents still around, right, and you talk to them about what you think it would be a sound financial decision with your money, I can promise you that at a minimum, one of them is going to tell you, honey, you need to be saving your money. You need to have money set to the side for emergencies. And then you need to pay off all of your debts. And then you need to be saving money as much as you can. Listen, saving money is one of the biggest lies we have ever been sold. And I'm tired of the lie continuing to basically progress. If we are able to get this high level thinking, right, which comes with education, right? This comes with, talking to some people that have done it. Guys, I'm still learning this. I'm not going to sit here and cap and tell you that I've got all this together. I am still learning this. Miguel is still learning this. I'll speak for him on this because we speak so much. We are still learning a lot of things as well, but we want you guys to be on the journey along with us, which is why we're doing Debate Crypto Academy. This is why we are putting together a community. There is so much that we have learned in the years that we've been doing this. We want to pass that along to you. We want you then to jump in. We want you to educate yourselves. We want you to take the education that we give you. And guess what we want you to do with it? We want you to pass it along to somebody else. The more people that get educated financially, the more we can actually take back what is ours. And right now, I will just leave it at this. I think one of the only ways that we can truly take back the strength and the power position that we need to have from our, as we said at the start, tyrannical government is to take back the money. And if we can't take back the money, I don't know what we're going to do because we're in an awfully bad position. And herein lies the reason why we love crypto. We love DeFi. So guys, definitely, if you guys aren't subscribed to us, make sure you subscribe, smash up the likes. This is Debate Crypto. We are all about trying to help you advance, help you get educated. And you know what? We are the crypto missionaries. We are here to bring you the good news. And guys, if nobody's told you before today, we freaking love you. And until next time, hodl like it's hot.